Yo, what up, Street Talks there, Kim? Alright, quick turbo thought. So, this one is how to become more minimalist, why does it matter, etc. So, first and foremost, I think minimalism is kind of more of a philosophical slash aesthetic thing. And the purpose of minimalism, I think, it's not necessarily to become more virtuous or become a better person or whatever, but rather minimalism is a road to actually improve your life. And the reason why I think a lot of people get confused about minimalism is they think the goal in life is to own nothing, but I don't actually think that's the case. Even in Zen and Zen Buddhism, they talk about important notions of non-attachment. However, there are certain things in life which is good to have. So, for example, I like having my iPad. I like having my Ricoh GR3X, my clothes, whatever it is. And the goal is not to not be materialistic, and it's not to not be consumerist either. I mean, if we're all living in America or in the West or anywhere that has Amazon Prime, right? We're all kind of implicated in this capitalist system, and anyone who says they're anti-capitalism yet they still own an iPhone, I kind of I think people are hypocrites. But anyways, so I think when it comes to minimalism, it's towards having the best possible mode of living, and minimalism is kind of what you make out of it. I mean, a simple one is to wear the same all black everything outfit every single day. I think from an aesthetics perspective, rather than trying to add things, subtracting things is a good one. And when it comes to photography, the zen of one camera, one lens, a non-interchangeable lens like the 40mm on the Ricoh GR3X is quite good. And it's to reduce options in order to maximize opportunities, if that makes sense. So, for example, the reason why I really love black and white photography so much is I'm kind of endlessly fascinated by this ability for black and white to both simplify the scene but also make it more interesting, insofar much as we don't see the world in black and white. And when you photograph something in black and white, it becomes more interesting because you are able to see the nuances you might not otherwise see, and it becomes a fun game, right? Like, what can you uncover that is visible in plain sight but is somehow hidden through black and white? And in terms of our material stuff and whatever, my personal ethos is I would just prefer to have one of the best thing and just use it almost forever if possible, than to own lots of medium priced things. So, for example, I'm a really big fan of the Outlier.NYC clothing. I essentially just had one of the black merino wool t-shirts and I wore it every single day for almost 3 years when I was living in Vietnam. Shout out to my friend Kevin for getting to me as a present. Or I just ordered a pair of Outlier.NYC athletic shorts. Expensive, but I like it that there's no branding or none of that nonsense. And in theory, if I wear it every single day, I think it's actually a good investment. And even from a UI UX perspective, when it comes to minimalism, simplify, like spending a lot of time and effort thinking about how to reduce an interface rather than add to it. And this is the big critique I have of just like, design in general, car design, softwares, programs, whatever. For every single new version, they try to add new things in order to motivate people to buy it, rather than thinking about what to thoughtfully get rid of. So this is where, out of all the car companies or tech companies, Tesla is probably the most interesting to me because, for example, getting rid of the door handles, super zen. I love that. Or even on the new Tesla Model S or the X, the yoke steering, I'm a huge fan of that. Getting rid of the shifting stalks is, I think, a huge innovation. And trying to think about how to remove distractions in order to maximize what's important to you. So even when it comes to, friends, keeping the circle small in order to maximize your friendships with the few people, or even spending more time with your kid or family members or whatever have you. And a big thing I've also discovered is maybe in life it's not about becoming quote unquote happier, but it's about actually becoming more zen, and to strive to empty your mind rather than always adding things to your mind. So simple things, right? Like unsubscribing from all your streaming services is a good one. Uninstalling email or even music from your phone, I think, is a good one. And I like the idea that it's better to own a very few number of books, like let's say 3 books, and reread them over and over again and derive something new from it every single time, rather than always just going out and buying new books. Same thing with films. There's probably only like 3 movies which have actually really influenced me. Probably The Matrix, the movie 300, John Wick. Those 3 movies, I could just watch those things on repeat until I die and find something interesting and new every single time. Or even also when it comes to the gym, right? Like the ultimate minimalist lift is probably deadlift, sumo deadlift, or even the trap bar deadlift, if you just wanted one, lift to rule them all. To keep things simple and minimal. And why is this the goal? I think the goal is to become more minimalist to maximize what you really care about.